All right, Shalom. Before I get into my lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is Ratazah from the Great Millstone Atlanta camp. All right. And this video is going to be titled, Why Do They Hate Us? And this video is a response, or basically it was inspired by a particular woman who was on Instagram Live. All right, she was going live off her Instagram page, and she was having a discussion with another woman, and they were talking, basically about what's going on with Black Lives Matter, racism, basically the topic at hand. Okay, and one question that the woman posed to the chat room on Instagram was, why do they hate us? Okay, and the they being the so-called white people. Why do they have this hatred for the so-called Negro? So-called black people, which are Israelites, by the way. Okay, and the answer is, simply put, it's because we are Israelites. Okay, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. That's the basic answer, is because we're the chosen people. Like Ice Cube said in on Twitter, he said we are the chosen people. He put a picture of King David. So that's the reason, So this deep rooted hatred for the so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American goes back thousands of years, man. Literally to the beginning, all right, in the book of Genesis. All right, and I'm gonna read the scripture. Okay, and this is the reason why this so-called white man hates our people. It goes deeper than just melanin, man. All right, it goes deeper than just having, because we have dark skin and coarse texture hair. That ain't the main reason why he hates our people. It's because we're the chosen people and we have the birthright, and the Most High chose us over them. So this is Genesis chapter 27, and I'm gonna start at let's see here. Let's start at 35. All right, make the video as short as possible. It says, and he said, thy brother came subtly and have taken away thy blessing. All right, and this is the words of our forefather Isaac. All right, the father of Jacob and Esau. Okay, Jacob became the father of the Israelites, the 12 tribes, and Esau became the father of who as the so-called white people today. Okay, so Jacob, which the word Jacob in Hebrew is Yaquab, which means supplanter, because that's exactly what he did to obtain the birthright from Esau. He supplanted him, basically tricked him, but it was all set up in the spirit anyway, because Jacob was chosen to receive the birthright and the blessing already. That's just the way the Most High wanted it to play out. All right, verse 36, it says, and he said, is not he rightfully named Jacob? All right, this is Esau speaking here in this verse. All right, as I mentioned, the word Jacob means supplanter. It says, for he have supplanted me these 2 times. All right, so our forefather Jacob, he got over on Esau. It says, he took away my birthright, and behold, now he have taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? 37, Isaac answered and said to Esau, which, by the way, the name Esau means wasted away, because when you jump back to Genesis 25, where it speaks about the birth of Jacob and Esau, Esau was basically didn't have any melanin, any pigmentation. So that's one indicator of how we can link Esau to the so-called white man, because all the 18 nations in the Bible, all right, such as the Chinese, Japanese, which their biblical names are listed as Moab, Ammon. You got the so-called Africans who are Hamites. All these different nations have pigmentation of some sort. They're all different shades of brown. But the so-called white man, he sticks out like a sore thumb. That's why he's named Esau, wasted away. All right, but continuing on, it says, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? 38, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, Even me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. 39. And Isaac his father answered and said to him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. All right, so this is the blessing that Esau got, which he's living out that blessing currently, which is why Esau he's ruling the earth. All right, as the scriptures say, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Job 9th chapter, the 24th verse. You know, verse 40, and by thy verse 40, it says, and by thy sword shalt thou live. All right, Esau's blessing is that sword. Okay, that's how he was able to basically obtain rulership of the earth or control of the earth through bloodshed, through war. All right, through his military, through his different armies, his weaponry, his artillery, and all that. That's that blessing. Okay, which is why it's idiotic for you so-called blacks to try to, and you other tribes, thinking that you're going to come together and get guns and take down the government. That ain't going to work. Because why? Their blessing is the sword, man. They will annihilate you. Okay, they got drones. they'll just fly a drone to your crib and blow your ass away, man. You know? So your AK-47s, your 9s and all that, that's not good. That's play toys, all right, when it comes to Esau, man. Esau got stuff he ain't even show to the public, man, that he gonna release on you people. So that was his blessing. He was blessed with that sword, man. Okay. It says, verse 40 again, it says, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. You see that? So this goes back to the book of Genesis. Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning from my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. You see that? So this goes back thousands of years, okay, during the time of Genesis, man. It's a deep-rooted, ancient hatred. And this is why, truthfully, in their spirit, you know, because they know we're the chosen people. They know we're better. And they know that the Most High is dealing with us, you know, and that's why they hate us, man. Okay. Yeah, that was the point. All right, it goes into it. Basically, Jacob fled to Laban to hide out from Esau. Okay. So yeah, man. Let's go from there to Malachi, I think it's the first chapter. Malachi 1:1, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord, speaking to you Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The Most High loves our people. Yet ye say, Slakia, yet ye say, wherein has thou loved us? And that's what our people say today. Well, if the Most High loved us or loves us, why do he allow people to go through 400 years of slavery? You know, that's a common question that I see on the comment boards, and people do videos. All right, you got this guy Ari Spears. He posed that question: well, if God is all good, why he let our people go through 400 years of slavery? Okay, that's an example of this question being posed, man. Wherein has thou loved us? Well, the reason why the Lord put our people in slavery is because we went off and broke his commandments. Slavery was the punishment. It says, reading on, was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I love Jacob. You see that? The Most High bestowed his favor upon us. Verse 3, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. See that? So the Most High hates Esau. You know, and Apostle Paul quoted this scripture in Romans the 9th chapter. Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Verse 4, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. You know, yeah, and that's essentially what Esau did. Start going back to the Renaissance period when he came back into power, and ultimately in 1776 when he established America. You know, he was able to revive himself as according to prophecy. All right, read Revelation 13. It speaks about the beast being wounded to death, but then it was revived. That was Esau basically coming back and building himself up. But when we read on, it says, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them," or let me jump back. It says, "They shall build, but I will throw down." And that's why you're seeing all turmoil and hell breaking loose in America. Okay, because the Lord is about to bring this place down to the ground, man, by the way of thermonuclear destruction. It says, "And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever," which indignation means righteous anger. You see that? And they're the border of wickedness, man. They are the wicked. Okay, this the sons and daughters of Satan, man. All right, and that's evident based upon the things that you see today. Satan is working with them, man. All right, but that's just plain. That's just plain to the point, man. The Most High, or why they hate us is because we're the chosen people, and we have the birthright and the blessing from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Deuteronomy 7:6. All right, classic scripture. It says, "For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power, or God, have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself." All right, like I mentioned earlier, Ice Cube, man. Basically went viral with that post he made, saying we are the chosen people. Okay, and it's coming out more and more. It says, reading on, "Above all people that are upon the face of the earth." You see, so we're above. The Lord has established us to be above everybody, man. All right, we're the superior nation, but because of disobedience and not following the Lord's statutes commandments, the Lord put us in a subservient position. Okay, pursuant to I want to say that's Ecclesiastes, the 10th chapter, where the Lord said, or Solomon said, where I've seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants on the earth, roughly paraphrasing. So the roles have been flipped. Okay, but now the things is about to go right back to how it's supposed to be, man. Where the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans are going to rule the earth in righteousness, and the so-called white man is going to be basically a slave, man. Okay, that let me keep going. Read the last verse 7. It says, "The Lord Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. But because," verse 8, "but because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he has sworn unto your fathers, have the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt." Okay, and the Lord is about to do that again here in America. He's going to redeem his elect, all right, out of the hand of Pharaoh, which the modern day Pharaoh is Esau, okay, the so-called white man. So, I just wanted to address that with a couple of scriptures, couple of points, why the so-called white man hates blacks. Well, it go back to Genesis. And if you really want to get into it, really go back to Cain and Abel, but that's a topic for another day. That deals with reincarnation, more in the spiritual aspect. But Lord willing, this was an edifying video. All right, to the next lesson. Shalom.